Hello. This is my testimonial for Revive Stronger coaching. So, some things that I thought I'd just ramble about it. One thing that I thought was really, really, really cool about coaching with Steve is, I would say I have a relatively complex physiology. I've got some spine issues. There's a ton of exercises I cannot do. And one thing that I noticed with Steve is it was really easy to work around those, and we made fucking good progress. Like, I've been lifting for 4 years. I would say I'm relatively well educated. And the amount of stuff that I learnt in the first 2 weeks was like, holy shit. It's just like cementing these things that you've heard bits about, but you haven't actually applied them, and you haven't actually figured out how to use them properly. So that was fantastic. And then in terms of progress, it's like, especially the one thing I'd never done is measured everything. And it's like, I definitely, if this was I know I'd definitely make more progress with Steve than without Steve, because this rate of progress would not be sustainable. I would be a mass monster by now. There was one of my measurements, my chest measurement, so it was like you measure around your chest. It went from 87 to 95 within 3 mesocycles, and it was like, holy shit. And the thing that's cool about that for me is the fact that I find it so hard to grow my chest, but just because I have a whole bunch of issues around here, they make it so hard to even find a exercise that can connect to it. So that was cool. And then the way we did that, and we just do that through fantastic programming and then keeping nutrition on point, and weight just slowly crept up exactly at the rate. It was Steve was very, very good at sort of measuring all those things and keeping okay, no, we're going to creep it up by this amount. We'll start here. And then it's it was a very, very cool experience to have Steve regulate everything very well. And then whenever I wanted an explanation for something, I was like, okay, hey, just wondering, why are we doing this? What is the explanation? He'll know the explanation. He'll give you the explanation in your check-in or something like that. Absolutely fantastic. Just as a coach, I think Steve's a fantastic, it's just, for me, it was an obvious choice. It's there are so many good choices out there. Especially if you're looking in the UK scene, it's there's a ton of good choices. But the thing that really stood out to me with Steve is he interviews the best people in the world, so he gets to have their perspective. But then he also applies it because he's fucking jacked. And then it's his clients get fantastic results as well. It's just overall, very, very good experience, because it's talking to someone like Steve, you get to bounce ideas off him. And if you say, oh, what about this? Could this be a good idea? He'll give you his rationale and give you his thoughts instead of just saying, nah, mate, it's dumb. Or there's a very nice way that Steve will respond to your thoughts and your criticisms or whatever. And just your general feelings. When I was going through my exam period, I was being I'd say a relatively shit client. I wasn't that adherent to training, but I mean, it was exams. We weren't trying to maximize bodybuilding at that point. But the way Steve handled that, I thought was fantastic. Also, another thing that I thought was really cool, it just slipped my mind. Another thing that I thought was really cool was the way that Steve would deal with breaking something to me. I won't mention what it was, but there was something that I was doing that was a bad habit, and it was quite a shameful bad habit. And then the way Steve talked about that with me, and his honesty, and I wouldn't say brutality, but I'd asked for his honest opinion. He gave me his honest opinion. He doesn't try to sugarcoat things. He tells you how it is. But then when you need that sort of caring, yeah, man, I know what you mean. He's very, very good at that. I don't think you can get that from many other people. I just think he's a caring, genuine guy. And it's if you listen to his podcasts, watch his content, you'll know that. But then it's but it's just you'll see that he's got the thought process, but then it's just crazy humility. It's really, really cool. And I think that's exactly what you need in a coach. And I'm hopefully going to be returning to coaching when I compete, which will be in quite a while now. But overall, fantastic experience. Could not recommend it more. The amount of resources you get is fucking cool. There's a seminar video from a while ago. There's a bunch of exercises. You can see literally every exercise you get It's just like, yeah, really, really cool. And the amount of information on literally any topic, so dope. But yeah, highly recommend it. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone at Revive Stronger. Hashtag Revive Stronger.